So can I share my screen?
For what?
Like वो starting soon वाला videos के लिए.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Light has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Slow down. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Candlelight has gone out. Some will win and some will lose. Nothing much else to say. Thought I was searching for something. Door has closed, not a sound. Take a look as I am now. Still I smile when you speak. Will you please slow down? Slow down. Slow down.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Okay, so we shifted the sessions to Zoom because we thought maybe a few of you might want to directly join on Zoom. We were seeing that very less number of people were joining. And so we thought, okay, let's try this out. Okay. And yeah. So we also have the session happening on YouTube, the same thing streaming on YouTube. So if anybody are interested, you can also watch it on YouTube. Of course, the recording will be available only on YouTube. Okay. So I hope you all were able to practice whatever we have covered so far until now, because we are getting into some complex things. Okay, I wouldn't call it as complex because if you understand the logic, then that's also very simple. And with the advancements of AI, ChatGPT, and all of that, even what we are covering today will be much simpler. Okay, so are we ready to get started? Okay. Come on. Okay. So today's topic is going to be API connector and the basics of it. Let me just quickly check it, because yeah, so we are going to do API connector, some very simple API connections, and then some slightly complex. And then finally, we will also look into the API connecting to OpenAI. Okay, and tomorrow we will check how do we use that OpenAI connection to be shown on the front end. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen, and let me share this particular screen. Let me open the screen over here. Okay, so I'm going to plugins because even for API connection, you have to use some plugin. And as we can see, API connector is the most widely used plugin. So we'll use that. Again, it's from Bubble. Okay, and we have to add APIs from here. Okay. Just so that we understand how do we use ChatGPT to get these APIs. Okay, I'm going to open ChatGPT. And I am going to use temporary chat. We don't need this to be in our history. We are running Bubble APIs basics today. What are some of the basic APIs? And try out. This is not basic. Come on. Stop it. Give um, there are a few that ChatGPT gives every time. Let's see if this time also it's the same. Oh, it's already given. Maybe this one. Let's try. Please be on mute, guys. Okay, it has given something else this time. JSON placeholder dot typecode.com/users. Okay, let's see what it gives us. I've never tried this, but the way we add API is add another API. Here you can give the name of it. Okay, let's say API trials. Okay, and then this is like a grouping. Okay, and under this you can add multiple API calls, right? So this is the main group, and then within this you can have multiple API calls. So I'll call this as first API. Okay, and as we can see here, it says this is get method and this is the URL. So we have this get over here, and I'm going to add a URL here. Okay, and let's initialize the call. Okay, so what we have got here is a dummy user's details, right? So this API call has gone successfully and we have got the response back. And if I click on show raw data, then you can see that we have got the response back in JSON format. Okay, ID is 1, name is some name, username is some username, email address, their address with street, suit, city, zip code, geo with lat long, right? Their phone number, their website, their company details, and so on and so forth. So we have got a lot of users' details here. This is not the basic one. So let me start with something even more. Can you give cat facts API call? Okay, so I'll copy this particular API call, right, which is also a get method. So I'm going to change this from this one to cat fact. Okay, and I'm going to make this call. Closely observe what is the response we get. We get a response which is cats respond most readily to names that end in an E sound. Okay, the length is 65, it says. And this is the actual response that we've got. Okay, fact is cats respond most readily to names that end in an E sound. Okay, if I make a call to this particular API again, that is reinitialize call, we're going to get some other fact, right? There are approximately 60,000 hairs per square inch on the back of a cat and around 120,000 per square inch on its underside. Did anybody know about this fact? Yeah. Yeah. No, right? So these are the funny facts that we can get via this API call, right? So very simple thing. When you want to call somebody, okay, if let's assume that you want to call me, what is the basic information that you need? If you want to call me, what is the basic information that you need? Name? Why do you need name if you want to call me? No, when I say call, I'm talking about mobile phone call or phone calls, phone number, right? So if you have a phone number, then you can call. Okay. Similarly, you can make a call to an API. You can make an API call if you have the URL where you are getting the response. But it's not just like a phone call, right? There are a few, for example, there are a few numbers where you cannot directly reach to a person. You need to add some extension or something like that. Have you experienced this? When you make a phone call, it asks what is the extension number. How many of you have experienced this? You make a call to a phone number and it asks you, like there's a board which speaks, like, can you please type in the extension number? IVR, right? So only when you type in the extension number will it get connected to a particular user. Yeah. So there are a few API calls which require some additional information and only then it will get connected. Otherwise, it will not get connected. Okay. So what we saw right now, okay, ignore about the user creation thing. It was slightly complex one. We will come to that a bit later. But this is the most simplest thing, right? You just make a URL call, and I'll show you something more interesting. I'll go to URL in the browser. Okay, I'll add this URL and make a call. You will get the response here also. A cat smell is their strongest sense, and they rely on this leading sense to identify people and objects. A feline's sense of smell is 14x better than a human's. Yeah. So you can also make this call from here, refresh, you will get something else. An adult lion's roar can be heard up to 5 miles, which is 8 kilometers away. Right? So you can also make such simple API calls via URL also. Okay. What this means is this API call, in short, is just a URL call. Nothing else. Got it? Okay. Now let's understand what is the response we have got and how do we get this response to the front end. Okay. So I'll just go to manually enter API call, API response, which will give us the response that we had already got, which we have saved. Okay. An API call will always, or I've never seen an API response coming in any other format, but most generally it will come in JSON format. Okay. And what is the JSON format? JSON format will always start with flower braces and end with the flower braces. And within this flower braces, you will have key value pairs, right? The key will be in double quotes. Okay. In this case, we have 2 key value pairs. One key is fact, and the value for the fact is this particular thing over here, which is there are approximately 60,000 hairs and so on and so forth, whatever we read. And then second key is the length. Okay. Because it is numeric in nature, it is not added in double quotes. Okay. Anything apart from this will be added in double quotes. Okay. And each of the key value pair will be separated by a comma. Right. So in simple terms, JSON is text, which will start with curly braces and end with curly braces. And in between, we will have key value pairs separated by comma. If we just have one key value pair, then there'll not be comma and there'll not be the second key value pair that is being sent. Clear so far? Can we move further? Now let's see how do we connect this to the front end so that we can actually get API response on the front end and display it. Okay. By the way, I told most of the responses of JSON, most of the responses of API calls will be in JSON. While that is true, it can also have other formats, right? It could also be XML. The response could also be just an image, right? It could also be a number text file, or sometimes it can also be empty. Okay. While most of the response will be in JSON format, it need not be for all of them. Okay. And these are the different formats we can have. response coming in. Okay. So let's continue. I'm going to create a new page called API, right? Reserved keyword. Okay, that's fine. So let's call API calls. Okay. Now closely observe one thing. This is use as data. We have this as use as data, and the other option is action. Now, when it is in use as data, I can add a text over here and I can insert dynamic data and I can use get data from external API. And here I'll be able to use the APIs that we have added or anything that we have in the plugins. Okay, because we explored Gmail this thing last time. We've got a lot of API calls from Gmail. But the thing that we have added is API trials, first API. So now I'm going to plugin, I'm going to API connector, and I'll change this from first API to get facts. I'll reinitialize the call and I'll click on save. Let's go to the front end and we will go here. You can see that this is cat facts now. Okay. The API trials is coming because of the name that we have given here. Okay. So the name that we can see on the design site is the name that we have given over here plus here. Okay, both of this will be combined together with a dash in between. Okay, you can see over here as well. It is Gmail plugin plus whatever is the name of the call. Likewise, it is API trial dash cat facts. Okay. Now, when we make this particular call, there are two key value pairs that we had got as a response. Remember, one was fact, one was length. Click on fact, and we will get the value of the fact being shown on the front end. So I'll click on preview here. I'll close this. You can see polydacyclic cats. Oh my God. Okay. A cat with one or two extra toes on their paws have this as a result of a genetic mutation. These cats are also referred to as Hemingway cats because writer Ernest Hemingway reportedly owned dozens of them at his home in Key West, Florida. Okay. Not very interesting fact, by the way. But let's refresh. A cat's heart beats nearly twice as fast as human heart at 110 to 140 beats a minute. Okay. So each time you refresh, you're getting a new cat fact generated. Yeah. The cheetah is the world's fastest land mammal. It can run at speeds of up to 70 miles an hour, which is 113 kilometers per hour an hour. Oh, wow. That's very interesting fact. I didn't know that it can run more than 100 kilometers per hour. Great. Okay. So you saw how did we connect this on the front end now, right? This is if we are using API as a data. What I'll do is I'll duplicate this particular call. Okay, we've got it over here. I'll delete this, which we had created initially. Okay, and here we have got cat facts copy. I'll make this as cat facts action. Everything remains same. I'll just change this to action. We'll reinitialize this and we'll save this. Now, because we have made it as an action, we will get it as action. Okay, guys, I'll answer all your questions right now. Concentrate here. Okay, we will get into the Q&A mode very soon. Okay, so I have added a button here, and we can add get fact or get cat fact. Okay, and add workflow. And because we made it as an action, we will get this an action. So I'll search for cat, and you can get API trials cat facts action. Okay, you can select that, and then you will get a response which you want to display it on the front end. Now, because you will not be able to display a text into a text element. Okay, what we can do is we can add a group, okay, which can be made of type text. And you can add a text element within that group, which can be referring to parent group's text. Okay, this is now parent group's text. And I will go to workflows, and we have an option called in elements action group, we have an action called display data in group or pop-up. Use that, go to group text, and the data to display is result of step 1's fact. Okay, so now one method we have seen is using it as data. The second method is using it as action. So when I click on this, we will run a workflow and we will get the cat fact. Okay, a cat named Dusty, age 17, living in Bonham, Texas, USA, gave birth to her 420th kitten on June 23rd, 1952. Wow. Crazy. Okay, when I click on this button again, we are getting the next fact. Okay, cat's eyes shine in the dark because of the epithelium, a reflective layer in the eye, which acts like a mirror. Okay, so did you understand two types of API calls that we can do? Okay, one is data, one is action. We have seen both of it with a very simple API call, right? Cat facts as data and cat facts action as action. Are we clear on this? Everyone, are we clear on this? Yeah. So what is so confusing in action? Tell me. You just have to change it to action, right? And once you change anything to action, closely observe one thing. I'll go back here. We have added two API calls in the API connector, right? One is called cat facts, and the other one is called cat facts action. Okay, one is data type and one is action type. And if I go here, I'll not be able to see cat facts action over here because that's not a data call. It's a action. Okay, and that's why this is not available here. Only cat facts is available here. Okay, and if I go to actions, right, and if I search for cat facts, then I'll get cat facts action available here and not cat facts. Okay, that's because this is made as action and that is made as data call. Okay, so based on whether you want to directly call it on page load or whether you want to call it when somebody clicks on a button, you have to configure the API call as data or action. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Until there, it is clear. Now, the reason why we are creating a group, okay, and adding a text within the group is because you cannot directly send the result of any API call or any step, okay, to a text element. There is no workflow for that. Okay. But you can send the result to a group. And that's why we created a group, which is of type of content is text. Okay. So that we can send any text. We can either directly type any text here. Okay. Or we can leave this blank and use the action to send any text to that. Right. And the action to use to send any text to a group is display data in group. Okay. And the group name is called group text. And that's what we have used here. And the text that we want to send to the group is result of step one's fact. Okay. Now, if you just add the group and not the text, then you will not be able to see the text. And that's why we added the text element, which is basically reading whatever is the parent group's text. And in this case, it is the cat facts that we are fetching from the cat fact action workflow. Is this clear? Are we clear on this, everyone? Okay. Great. Can we move on to the next one? Okay, let's go and can you please share an API call example with URL parameter? Okay. Okay. Now this is another API call. Closely observe. If we go to Bubbles editor, right? Bubble.io is the domain. Okay. Page is the page name, right? ID, anything after a question mark is called URL parameters, right? I don't think we have covered URL and path parameters, right? For you? Have we covered? Not yet. Okay. So do not worry about it too much. Do not get confused as to what are URL parameters, what are path parameters, and so on and so forth. Okay. Just understand that anything which comes after a question mark, okay, again with key value pair, okay, ID will be the key and begin will be the value. Begin C1 is the value. Okay. And tab is the key and plugins is the value. Name is the key, API calls is the value, and type is the key and page is the value. Okay. So these are key value pairs. So what we are doing right now, in this case, there was no URL parameters, right? catfact.ninja is the domain and /fact was the page, or rather fact. This is the URL we used to make a API call. Now, the second example that we've got is boardapi.com. So this is the domain, right? And this is the API call. So basically it's a page kind of thing. But here it says that if you put /API, then it's making an API call. And then we have activity question mark. Okay, type equal to recreational. So let's copy this. Again, this will also work on browser. So if I go here, you can see we get some response. Oh, maybe this is not working anymore. Let's quickly go here and check. I'll add another call here. Let's see. Is this get or yeah, it's get. maybe they have removed it. Yeah, so they have removed it. Let's tell ChatGPT this API is no longer available. Can you share something else? No, something else, please. Okay, let's go with this one. I can go over here and put it here. This particular value, okay. So like I mentioned, the URL parameters can be added in two ways. One is question mark, and then you tell what is the key and what is the value. Or you can also put it in between slashes. Okay, it will read a particular number. So in this case, let's go with 7 and try this out. 7 is the number of estimated objects that can be simultaneously held in human working memory. Okay, if I go over here and add this thing. Okay, in Bubble, when you want to add anything as a parameter, okay, I'll firstly make this as, let's say, 8, and we will make a call. Okay, so here you see that when we make a call, it says a API call returns a non-object, and you pick JSON. Please check. What this is telling is the return is just a simple text that we are getting. Okay, and we have made the data type as JSON. So we'll have to make this as text, and then we'll initialize the call. So 8 is the number of principles of Yong in Chinese calligraphy. Okay, so for every number, there is some trivia. Okay. Now you don't want to be coming to the backend workflow API call and making these changes to the number. You want this to be from the front end where the users can put their own number and they can see what is the trivia. And you can see on the right side, Bubble has shown you how do you make anything as a parameter. If you want 8 to be the parameter, add it in between the square brackets. So you can make this as number and you will get key as a parameter. You can add any value here and make this as non-private, which means you will be able to use this on the front end. And this will be dynamic. You can make changes over here. Yeah. So now what I'll do is on the front end, I will add an input element where we will ask the users to put integer. We will add a button. Okay. Get what is that called? Trivia. Okay. Like we did last time, I'll also use a group this time to display whatever we get as response. Again, the group will be of type text. Right, I'll make it as group trivia. And then we have this parent group's text being shown. One thing that I have to do is I want to make this as action. Okay, now because we have integer that the user is using. Okay, we can still use it as data. I'll show you that as well. But let's understand this. get number trivia. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we have this input integer, we have a button, and then we have, okay, we have a group where we are displaying the trivia that we are getting. So when we click on this, what we want to do is we want to call trivia, right? And we have API trials get number trivia, okay, which we made transaction. So we have it here. And number is the dynamic parameter here. And this can come from input is value. And then we will do the same thing that we did last time, display the data. And this time it is group trivia and it is result of step 1. Okay. Because it is not a JSON, I can just give it as result of step 1, which is a text. Okay. So let's go in the preview mode. I'll add, let's say 11. I'll click on get trivia. 11 is the number of players in a field hockey team. So I'll share this link in the chat box. I would like all of you to give your own number and see if you are able to get your own results. Can you try it out? If it's asking for username and password, give it UN and PW. Give the username as UN and password as PW, small. Once you are able to get your result, please type in got it in the chat box. Good one, Aditya, nice. Good one, Manoj. Thank you for sharing that. Others are not active. Only 2 people. "17 is the minimum driving age for a car or van in the United Kingdom." Okay, that's nice. Thank you, Vanilla, for the confirmation. But please try and join from your desktop so that you can be active. And on YouTube, I don't see anybody active. No response from them. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so what we have done so far is 2 things. One, we have understood how do we connect to any third-party application using APIs. Okay, we did with simple APIs, and we also saw that we can change that from data to action, right? And we can use it in multiple ways. Second, we also saw how do we connect that on the front end. Okay, and we also tried with the API call, which has a parameter in the URL. Okay, and then we tried adding those parameters from the front end from the user, right? So user gave an input and we use that input to feed into the URL parameter or the URL and get the output from it and show it to the user. Yeah, are we good? Can we move on to the next one? Great. Okay, so we can add some headers, we can add some parameters and so on and so forth. So let's go one step at a time. Now we can move to the next step. We share some slightly complex. What we have seen so far. Open weather, okay. I hope I have got some keys for this, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so we've got one more API call here, and this time it is, we've got three parameters that we have to give. Okay, one is the city. Okay, the second one is the metric, and third one is API key. Okay, city we can easily give, right? So we can mention this as, let's say, Bangalore. Okay, but unlike the previous 2 or 3 examples that we saw, here not everybody can make a call. Okay, they want to ensure that you register on their platform, get an API key, and use that API key to make a call so that they understand who is the person who is making these calls. Right? Cat facts and what is it? Trivia API call. Anybody can call from anywhere and they will not know who is making a call. And you can probably make it any number of times. Okay, they're not worried about it. They're like, okay, make any number of calls. Okay, but with regards to the weather, okay, which is coming from openweathermap.org, okay, they want to ensure that they restrict the calls that is happening, right? And that's why they need to have this API key. Now, I already have the account with Open Weather Map. So I'll go to their platform. You can make, what I say, you can make a account there. Let me see. It's not allowing me to log in. So I've got okay. So once you log in into the openweathermap.org, okay, you can go to API keys and it will allow you to generate some keys. I'll call this as begin part 1 and then click on generate. Right, so it created one. I'll delete the old one that we had. And this is the one which we have got. So I'll just copy this, go back over here, and wherever we have this API key, I'll have to use this API key. Click on enter. Invalid API key. Please see. Okay, looks like they need some time to crazy. We'll wait for some more time and see if this works. Ideally, it should work because we've generated from their own account and this is active right now. Okay, let's just take a minute or two. Okay, until then, I'll get that over here. I'm adding another API call, and this is also get. I believe this is also get. This is get as well. Okay, so this is also get, and I'm going to add the thing here. And because we want to make this as parameter, okay, I'll add it like this. And I'll also make this as parameter. Okay, but closely observe what I do. While I make this as non-private, I'll keep this as private. Okay, so I'll add this particular key here, and this can be, let's say, London. Okay, it's still not working fine, but let's see after some time. Okay, but this is kind of API call which requires keys. Okay, get weather done. Okay, it probably takes some time to activate this keys, and that's why it's probably not working. But if we go back to ChatGPT, ideal response would have been this is the ideal response that we get from OpenWeather. Okay, weather main, it says cloud, description overcast clouds. Again, main temperature is 10.52, humidity is 81, wind speed is 3.1, name New York. Okay, this is for New York City. If you had given New York as the city name, then it would come in this way. Closely observe. This is in JSON format, yes or no? Do you agree that this is in JSON format? Okay. Now, we have key value pairs, multiple places, but there's also, what to say, flower braces within the JSON key value pairs. Okay, and then we also have some square brackets. Okay, so what does that mean? So wherever we have flower braces, it means we have sub parameters, sub key value pairs within it. Okay, so main is the key here. Within the value, we have sub key value pairs. Okay, that means main has one key, which is temp, which is temperature. Okay, 10.52. And the second key is humidity, for which value is 81. And this together is the value for main. Okay, in this case, wind, we've got just one key within this, which is speed, which is at 3.1. Okay, this is what we are getting in response. And wherever we have square brackets, that means we might have multiple values. Okay, it's list of things, right? No matter if we give like whenever we give one city, it will always give us one result. But for some reason, they have structured it in a way where they can also send a list of things. Okay, so square brackets would only mean that it is list of things. Okay, I wish I could show it to you here. It's not working for some reason. and I'm not able to share it. Okay. But did you understand the concept? Let me do one thing. I'll just copy paste this one in the result. We can also do it that way. I'll paste this over here. Click on save and you can see how it will look like, right? So you can see that weather will become a list here. Okay, weather becomes a list because we have used square brackets. Okay, we can go back here. We can see weather becomes a list and within which we have main and a description. Okay, so weather is a list within which we have main and description. Then we have main temperature, main humidity, wind speed, and then the main. Okay. I can click on save, but this will not work when we make a call from front end because the API is not connected. Okay, the key doesn't seem to be working. Or do I have to give it along with anything else? Maybe not. Okay, let's see what are the other things. Open weather. This is Coin Gecko API. We can try with this one. Bitcoin versus currencies USD. Okay, we can try this out. Let's make this call. Okay, you can see Bitcoin USD is 89675, whereas Ethereum it is USD 2197. Okay, so use ChatGPT to get some API calls and you can test it out from your end. I would like to move on with OpenAI. Are you all ready for that? Can we move to OpenAI API call? Okay. So I'll ask ChatGPT to give me the API call. The reason I'm using ChatGPT is just to show you that how simple it is, right? ChatGPT can help you actually get this things sorted. Okay. And that's why I'm using it. I already have the API calls with me. I could have simply copy pasted. The reason I'm using ChatGPT is just to showcase to you that ChatGPT can actually help you navigate through the API challenges. Okay. Can you please share with me the API call for OpenAI? Now, for the first time, we will be using post method. So closely observe. The endpoint is this one, okay, which is api.openai.com/v1/chat/completions. So I'll copy this. I'll go over here. I will not create it under the under API trials. I'll go and create one more API call. Okay, another API altogether. I'll call this as OpenAI. And here we will say chat completion. And this time we need it to be a post method. We will use this URL. And then it says we have to add a couple of headers. Okay, one is content type. Again, key value pairs, if you see. So I'll add a header, content type, and this is application./JSON. So I'll paste it, and this can be private because we don't want to make any changes there. The second one is authorization. Again, a header. And what it says is we have to use bearer space your OpenAI API. Okay, this will also, I'll make it as private. and I'm going to use OpenAI to get my key now. Again, you can use ChatGPT to understand how to create it. You need to make a payment to get the keys from OpenAI. Come on. Why did I come? Let me log in with Google. And code. Yeah. So I'll be deleting the API keys that I already have. I'll create a new one, which will be, of course, I'm not sharing my screen here. C1, create a key. I'll copy the key and I'm going to replace it over here. Okay. I'm going to add this, right? And this is the key that we've got. Now let's go back to ChatGPT, and it says the request body should be in JSON and this should be the body type. Okay. So I'll copy this. I'll go back to Bubble and body type is JSON. And here I'm going to set the parameters. Now you can see we have model, which is GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay. And then we have got messages, which is added in square brackets. What does square brackets tell us? What does square bracket tell us? What is it indicating? Everyone, come on. What is the square bracket indicating? Square brackets are not subparameters, right? Flower braces is subparameters. Square brackets would mean it is list of things, right? So you see that it is added within square brackets, and then we have list of things. So we have role, which is system. Content is you are a helpful assistant. Role user, content tell me a joke, right? And then we have temperature, and then we are closing. So this is also in JSON format, and square bracket tells that it is list of things. And we have two messages that is being added. One message is system, okay, and the second one is user. So we are telling that system, you are a helpful assistant, and then user is asking, tell me a joke. And when I run this particular API call, we're going to get a response from OpenAI, which will also be in a JSON format. And the output is ID is this chat completion and some ID. Object is chat.completion created on this particular date and time. Model is GPT 3.5 Turbo and so on and so forth. Choices is again square brackets, which means it is list of things. But we have just one choice here. Okay. Role is assistant. Content is sure. Here is a joke for you. /n. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Okay. And then we get some usage details like prompt token is 21, completion token is 23, total tokens is 44, which is both of this together. Okay. And some other details here. Okay. So what is actually important for us is this content. And where is content available? Content is within messages and messages is within choices. Okay, and because choices is within the square brackets, we have to use it as list. Okay, we will get that. Now, this is what the user is telling. So I want to make this as dynamic. How do I make this dynamic? You can see here, we have to add greater than and smaller than symbols to make this dynamic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this as dynamic by removing this, adding greater than and smaller than, and then we can say user content. So it will add a parameter for us. We will add the same thing and remove this private so that it can be used from front end by allowing to add whatever the user is asking for. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the front end. Okay, let's make one more page. We can call this as Open AI. Same method. I'm going to get a input box. Okay, where you can ask your question. And then we will have a button. Get OpenAI response. And then we will add a group. Same funda, nothing changes. And this will be of type text. And we will add a text box, which will refer to parent groups text. The only difference being now for us to get the response from that particular, to get the message that we've got from the OpenAI, we have to do some fine tuning. Okay. So what we are going to do, firstly, we'll make this as action. We'll go back here and search for chat. We have OpenAI chat completion. I'll use this. User content is coming from input. So we'll make this as input, ask your questions value. Now we can go to elements action and display data in group. The group is OpenAI, group text. Data to display is result of step 1. Okay, let's go back and see where is the result available. Let's go back here. So what we want is sure, here is the job for you and stuff like that, right? That is in content. Content is within messages and messages is within choices. Okay, so I have to go to choices. Okay, and choices is list of things. So I have to use first item. So I will go to this one. I say choices, first item, message, content. So let me preview this. Let's close the unwanted things. And I'll ask, how far is Bangalore from Chennai? Bangalore is approximately 350 kilometers away from Chennai when traveling by road. Let me share the link with you people. Okay. Anyways, nobody is responding on YouTube, so I'll not share the link there. Yeah, you can go ahead and ask your question and see if you are getting the response that you're looking for. And if you're done with asking and if you've got the response, please type in done in the chat box. So Aditya shared, which is the coldest place on earth. Yeah, and Manoj has also shared. Are the answers right? Does it seem right? Yeah. These are the responses that we are getting directly from OpenAI. So what did we actually do? We actually connected our Bubble app to OpenAI. Right? We took the question or input from the user, connected it with OpenAI, got the response, and showed it on the front end for the users. Isn't this very simple actually? Right? This is how we connect the APIs, guys. Okay. So tomorrow what we will do is we will make this as a looping system. Like we will build a chatbot kind of thing, right? Where, because right now, when I ask how far is Bangalore from Chennai, and if I change the question, and how about Delhi, right? It will give me a totally different answer. It does not have context at the moment. Okay. So when I ask, and how about Delhi, it says Delhi is the capital city of India and is known for its rich history, diverse. So it's talking about Delhi and nothing to do with the distance or anything of that sort. So it has no context at the moment. Okay. So in tomorrow's, or not tomorrow, sorry, in the next session, right, which is supposed to be on Monday, what we will do is we will build a chatbot functionality where it has the context and it will answer based on the context. Okay, so we will try to build a replica of ChatGPT itself. Okay, of course, not as complex as ChatGPT, but where you can create new chats and you can have your own, what I say, chats happening with context. Good enough, everyone. Okay, and also one more, what I say, one more announcement. Okay, because we are seeing only 4 or 5 people who are joining regularly. Okay, we will do this in a closed circle now, right? We will identify who are the people who are joining regularly, and we will do the sessions only with them. Okay. We started this as an open session for everybody so that everybody could get benefited. Okay. We anticipated that a lot of people would join and they would take the best use of it. It's either that we are not able to add value to them, okay, or they're not, what I say, respecting whatever we are doing because the recordings are available. Yeah. And because of that, we are going to identify who are the regular people who are joining, and we will do the sessions henceforth only for them. Yeah. It'll be in a closed circle. Great. And so open for Q&A. Any questions that you have, please feel free to ask your questions. I know Manoj has asked a couple of questions, and also I believe there was another question from Hemant, if I'm not wrong. I'll answer that. So yes, we can connect this with WhatsApp, right? So you'll have to use WhatsApp API, okay, to use this system. So if you are talking about WhatsApp to WhatsApp, that is, you are getting the question also from WhatsApp. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so the first question was about WhatsApp. Okay, if we are talking about WhatsApp to WhatsApp, which means the user is asking the question on WhatsApp and we are responding back on WhatsApp. Okay, then probably Bubble is not the right platform. Okay, you can well do this on automation platforms like Zapier or Public Connect or something like that, where you can detect that the user has sent a WhatsApp message and you send that to OpenAI, get the response to it, and send it back on WhatsApp. Okay, but if we are talking about getting some data from Bubble, okay, and then generating some content on that particular data and then sending it on WhatsApp, then of course you can do it on Bubble. Okay, where you can connect the WhatsApp API and then you can send this messages. So right now, if you recall, our team is sending you WhatsApp reminders during every session that's happening, right? So that is via WhatsApp API that we have connected, right? We are using AI Sensi for this, and that is happening via WhatsApp APIs. Okay. You can also connect it with OpenAI to do some modifications to the content and then send it via WhatsApp. Okay. I hope that I've answered your question
Yes.
with regards to WhatsApp.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
No problem. Most welcome. Can we add multiple data types in single API? Okay. So can we add multiple data types in single API? Now, let's go with this example itself, right? Now, let's say I just want to display the content that we have got, plus I also want to display the total number of tokens this particular call has taken. Okay. In this case, what I will do is the group that we have, which was of type content, type of content was text. I'll change this to plugin chat completion. Okay, closely observe why I'm using chat completion. That is basically the name that we had given for this particular API itself. Okay, so I'm going to change the group to chat completion. And what this does is it allows me to connect the entire response that I'm getting from OpenAI. I don't have to go to choices and all. I'm directly saying result of step 1 can be connected to that group. Okay. Now what I'll do is within this particular group, I have this thing, which is parent groups chat completion. Here, I'm going to make it as choices, first items, message content. And then I'll add one more text element, which will be linked to usage total tokens. Okay. And I'll add some gap between these two. So I can identify that this is a separate thing. And I can also add some this thing here, total tokens used. And we can also change the format of this to, let's say, 14 and this thing. So what I've done is I've got two data from the response and that I'm showing here. So when I make this maybe I'm making fun of myself. I'm not sure if OpenAI will answer this question. Yeah, so I've made fun of myself, right? So let's ask what is bubble.io. Okay, so you can see that we have got the response, what is bubble.io, and we have also got what is the total token. So we are got two types of data which is being shown here. Yeah.
So you're paying money for this, Mr. Ritesh?
Yes, of course.
So,
You're talking about OpenAI, right?
yeah. So now 93 token used. This means some amount money has been deducted from your account.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
suppose I share a link in my WhatsApp, say, and they ask them, say in my group, my facade group, then I ask you a question. So the number of questions they ask, that much money I have to pay from my pocket.
It's not like straightly related where it's not like one question equals to 1 rupee or $1 or whatever it is, but it's based on the number of usage. Yeah. So, but yeah, each time they ask a question, you are spending some money for them.
Oh, so I was thinking of doing it as a trial, but I think I have to stop it because yeah, I got it now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. So Aditya has one question. Almost all apps that we build for clients need API calling. Not necessarily, right? You need a API calling only if you are connecting with some external platforms. Okay. For example, if I'm building a invoicing tool, okay, then maybe I don't need any API calling. I'll ask the user to input all the details in the this thing. I'll generate a invoice and I'll send it to clients. Okay, need not be, but most often than not, you might want to, because let's say, for example, you want to send the email of the invoice via Gmail, then you want to connect with Gmail, right? One of the methods that you can avoid API if you are not comfortable is to use plugins, right? Plugins will do the heavy lifting for you, where API calls and everything is happening on plugin side, and you can use it as though it is just a action from your side. Yeah. I hope that was. I hope I answered your question. And Aditya has one more question, which is if it had web access, it could have answered the first question right. I didn't understand that. What do you mean by that? Can we add image along with text and tokens? Yeah, but we are not generating image here, right? If at all we had generated an image via this particular API call, if image was the response from OpenAI, then we could have added image as well. Sure.
So Mr. Ritesh, this the result of a step one in general, yes, I understood more or less. So in what context, like, can you give some other example as well? Like, so result of step one, I have seen this many a time. This is
So this
used.
is step one, right? This is step one.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are saying result of step one, which means anything that is a response of this particular step, okay, you use it here.
Okay, so it will be some kind of a data. I mean, in general, if you want to say, it could be anything, result of whatever, and what we want to use that as.
Yeah. So basically, I'll show you one more example, right? So I'll go to data and create a new thing.
Okay.
And let me make this as, let's say, post. Okay. Now, if I go here, this has become result of step two because it is step two's result. Okay. And let's assume that I'll add one more group over here. Okay, which is to showcase some text. I'll make it as text. And I'll add a text element within this, which will be parent groups text. Okay. And I'll go here. And I will add one more this thing, display data in a group. And this time it will be group text. And I'm going with result of step one. Okay. Closely observe. Result of step one. What are we creating here? We are creating a post.
Okay.
Right. And if I go to data, post has image, we have post text, we have reposted from as parameters or fields, right? We also have creator, we have modified date, we have created date, we have slug. Correct?
Okay.
If I go here, when I say result of step 1, because the group is of text type. Okay, the group that we have created here is of type text, and it is expecting us to send something in a text format, right? And that's why when I make it as a result of step 1, it's expecting us to give further information because the result of step 1 is a post.
Post.
Okay, but what we need is text. So I can go over here and say post text, it'll work. Or I can say image, but also URL, it'll work. I can go and say reposted from, okay, but reposted from is also a post. And that's why it'll expect us to give some text. It can be post text, right? So result of step 1 at this moment is a post.
Okay, I got it. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ritesh.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions from anybody? Aditya, yes, if it had web access, it would have answered this question. With OpenAI right now, I think it's, if I'm not wrong, it's in 2023. The data has been updated until 2023, September or so.
Mr. Ritesh, it is a question not related to our session or bubble. Just in general, wanted to ask, like, see now ChatGPT, I'm using the paid version. So now ChatGPT 4.0 I'm using. Now again, 3 mini has come. So what
Yeah.
do you suggest which one you should use for our regular uses? I mean,
So for most of the usage, I think 3.5 should be good enough, or you can use 4.0. Okay. Again, you will have to see multiple things, right? One, every version model you are using has a different costing. Okay. And every version that you are using, every model you are using has a different output.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to check which one is the best amongst them in terms of the output and the costing, right?
So I'm using the paid like a monthly. I'm the plus. I'm using ChatGPT Plus.
No. So you are using ChatGPT. ChatGPT and OpenAI APIs are two different things.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever you're paying for ChatGPT, this thing, that is to use ChatGPT. If you want to make OpenAI calls, API calls, then you have to pay separately for that.
Okay. So here 3.5 turbo, whatever it is there. So there we will have
Yeah.
an option to change there also. That can we change that?
Yeah, you can just go over here and make this as 4.4. I'm not sure. We'll check this. Okay. So I'll also show you how to use. Oh, it worked. But let's assume that a turbo doesn't. I'll give turbo. Okay. I'll make this call. So it is giving me an error. So what I'll do is I'll take the screenshot of this. I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say.
Okay. And the answers will vary depending on the model what we are using.
Sorry.
Answers.
Yeah, answers will be. That's why we have different models.
Okay.
Right. What can be wrong? I've just taken a screenshot of whatever is the issue and I've given it to ChatGPT.
It does not exist, it says.
Right? So it says fix is use GPT-4 turbo.
Okay.
Okay, instead of turbo. So I'll just go over here. I'll change this one from turbo to, turbo to turbo. This will go. So most often than not, you can get the response from ChatGPT. Okay, whenever you are having any issues from your API calls.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody? Okay, then thank you everyone for joining in. I hope it was informative session for all of you. And please do practice, okay, because I've kept telling this from the day one, and I hope you all are practicing. I really appreciate all of you who have been joining from day one and regularly joining. And I know that most of you are practicing. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, once again, and have a nice evening. See you on
Thank you,
Monday.
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Of
Have a
course,
nice
you can
weekend.
join the Bubble Roundtable, which happens tomorrow from 7 to 9. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.